welcome to the Steve and Crypto Show. This is Steve.
My name is Crypto Zoo.
How you guys doing? This episode, we're going to talk to our friend Greg Smith, the writer of the Junior Braves of the Apocalypse graphic novel series on Oni Press. It's a great comic about a scout troop who goes on a camping trip and comes back, and the zombie apocalypse has taken hold of the world. It's a good book. I don't know. Have you read it?
I haven't had a chance to read it yet, no, but I'm a pretty busy guy these days, and I need to fit that in. It seems like every time I try to pick up a book or a comic, it's late in the day, and I end up falling asleep in said comic or book or whatever it is.
Right. Well, yeah, it's really good. Like I said, the apocalypse, and since that's the topic of the world right now with the whole COVID thing, how have you been keeping occupied besides family and work, and what are you doing to stay entertained, man?
Oh man, I've been kind of diving into the whole Shudder rabbit hole and watching a lot of things in there. I watched this documentary all on 80s horror the other night that you actually suggested to me, and it was great, man. I didn't think I was gonna stay awake to watch it, and I ended up watching the whole thing. I fell asleep for maybe 5-10 minutes towards the end, but I caught everything else, and I really enjoyed it. It was a fun viewing, so I watched that. I've been watching Creepshow. Watched all of that. It's sad that it's only 6 episodes because it's really a tease and it makes me want more.
I think on Creepshow, I think I read something that AMC was picking that up, and they were going to continue it there.
Really?
I could be mistaken. I have to look into that for sure, but that could be really cool because I think AMC puts out some pretty good stuff with like The Walking Dead and Into the Badlands. They had some like really gory stuff, so I could see them doing some horror on there. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, that'd be a good home for that show.
But Shudder is perfect for it, but I think it deserves a wider audience.
It does.
Yeah,
that show is great quality. I love it.
I think Greg Nicotero is doing a really good job with it. I definitely want to see more of it. And you mentioned that documentary. It's pretty good so far. I'm about an hour into it. I keep falling asleep because I'm like kind of, like an old fart. As soon as my head hits the pillow, I'm like done. I'm like, I'm going to kick back and watch this 4-hour documentary, and I don't even get 1 hour into it. So it's it. But
I'm like that.
Go ahead, man.
I was going to say, I'm like that kind of when it comes to writing or reading a comic or whatever. Same thing. I'm like, all right, I'm going to sit down and, knock this out. And an hour in, I either don't like what I came up with or I'm asleep.
That's just part of getting old, man. You'll catch up.
Yeah.
Promise. Oh, yeah. Like my birthday's coming up and I'm turning fucking 41, and that's ancient. You remember being young and thinking about turning 40, and it's like you're an old man and you got your walker and you're over the hill. And some days I feel like that. But
right.
What do you miss most about the world since all the lockdown and quarantine and all that stuff?
I miss being able to have little gatherings, being able to go to conventions and being able to go to concerts and even the movie theater. It's expensive, but every now and then, for the right movie, you got to put down some cash for it. You got to go. You hit the dollar store for the snacks before. I'm not stupid. I'm not going to the lobby for their snacks and paying $11 for a bucket of popcorn. But I'll go to the dollar store before I go to the theater.
Yeah, I agree 100 on the theater. That's probably like the thing I missed the most. Like overpaying to hang out in a dark room with a bunch of strangers and eat overpriced junk food. But there's something about that. It's like that's like what, I don't know, man. It just has that, like, it's like an event more than just watching a movie. You can watch a movie at home on TV, but you go out to the theater like friends or
well, and the right movie can almost seem like the memories of going to that film can seem like a concert in a way. I remember going to see all of the Jackass movies in the theater because everybody was laughing together. You're all crying, and then you kind of miss half of the next segment because you're laughing from the last thing they did. or Deadpool. That was a memorable one in the theater because everybody was just loving it, man. And, there was so much fresh content in that one. Pardon the background commentary.
Yeah. So it's an appearance by Caleb's family. Welcome to the show. Nothing. But,
good. He's good now.
Yeah, I think I get what you're saying about it feels like the memories and the experience of it. Like, I don't remember. It might have been you actually that came and watched Night of the Living Dead with me.
Yep, I did.
Because that's my all-time favorite horror movie, and I grew up like obsessed with that movie, and I'm still obsessed with that movie, and I watch it multiple times every year, and as many times I watched it, I've never seen it on the big screen. So when they released that a couple years ago, when they did a remaster of it, which came out beautifully, I had to make sure to see it. To me, it was like breathtaking. It was my movie. Like, I have more memories of watching that movie than I do of like all the Star Wars movies.
Yeah,
it was good, but
it was very memorable. It was a good time. It was cool that they had the little kind of behind the scenes segment before the movie, with George Romero and certain cast members talking about it and the experience of making it all. That was fun.
Yeah, definitely. Was that your first time seeing the movie?
Oh, definitely not. No. Oh, no. I've seen that plenty of times before. First time watching it in the big screen like that,
Yeah, that's something I'd be waiting for. But, of course, Night of the Living Dead is kind of an influence on our guest Greg Smith's comic.
Well, isn't that a good tie-in?
That's a good tie-in, though. And I think I hear like a zombie in the background. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't we just get to the interview and you guys meet Greg Smith?
Hope you enjoy it.
Hello. This is Agoro, host of the Agoro Show. And you are listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. So keep your ears open and your mouth shut.
Welcome to the show, to the Steve and Crypto Show. Got to throw that in there because that's kind of important, I guess. And we're going to talk with a good friend, Greg Smith. He's a writer of the Junior Braves of the Apocalypse graphic novel series and the brand new Starlight comic, which they just ran a Kickstarter for the first book, and you're about to start one for the second. Tell me about it. When are we getting the second book?
Second book. Well, we are planning on dropping this Kickstarter at the end of the month, which is coming up real quick. So in August, we'll be launching this. So it's just a matter of when Kickstarter gives us that magic date. But right now we're finalizing everything, and Travis and Travis Webb, the other co-writer, are finalizing all that Kickstarter business, and Brett Wadelli has finished up all of the he's finished doing the finishing touches on all the art stuff for book number 2. So we're getting all that stuff taken care of. So we're just moving right along, and hope that as soon as we run the Kickstarter and that's completed and finished, it'll be boom, books out again, and then we can start this whole entire cycle once again, one more time.
So, with the Kickstarter, you guys blew way past your goal with the first book.
Yeah.
Right.
I was surprised. It was one of those things where we had set the goal. We didn't anticipate, obviously, our current world situation as it is, being everyone locked down, COVID-19, coronavirus being such an impact to the comics community. We were really hoping that I'd be coming back from C2E2 in Chicago, and we would be launching the Kickstarter the week after and bringing that to Emerald City with us when we went, and be running that concurrently with that weekend and bringing people in and talking it up and having a great time at the convention. And all things were shifted sideways all within that 2-week period. I get back from C2E2, and it seems like everything kind of went on pause, and it's been on pause for quite some time.
All right. So considering you didn't have that outlet to promote with the conventions, with everything being canceled, so you guys feel pretty good about.
Yeah, I mean, like it was interesting because we had to pivot a lot because we didn't have the convention circuit, like where if you know me, you know that, and you see me at conventions for Junior Braves. I like to talk to people. I like to take that opportunity. And it's not generally about pitching the book itself. It's just to really just find out what people like and then see if it's the right fit for them. And if it's not the right fit for them, I'm not going to like try to sell them on something they don't want, but and same with Travis too. We just like to really engage people and have conversations. And we were really hoping to be able to have that. And we realized we were not going to be able to do that because we're not at conventions, but how can we do that? And we realized, well, I guess there's all these streaming services available out there. So we took advantage of Facebook live streams, Twitch channels, people taking us into onto their Twitch channels and doing lunch hours with other creators and doing art nights and stuff like that with other creators where they're drawing and live streaming that on Twitch and playing video games with folks and watching movies and other things. And at some point, yeah, we got a little nuts. Travis and I took some challenges. People threw the gauntlet down, and maybe some heads were shaved. Maybe somebody put a bounty on my eyebrows, and that definitely. I think once people start to realize that we are doing this for multiple reasons. One, we have a book series that we want to do, and we really enjoy this book series. We enjoy working on it, writing it. But we also realized that because the comic book circuit, the convention circuit, was going to be put on pause and we were on hold in a holding pattern, that diminished our ability to reach out there to talk to people. But the person that it hurt the most of the team was Brett, our artist. Comic conventions are a major portion of how he gets an income. He's able to network, talk to people, bring them in as fans of his, and do all sorts of great stuff with them to do commissions and set up other things for moving forward, and then meetings and other things like that with other creators so that he can work on other projects. And he was unable to do that from C2E2 on, right? And we realized that was going to take a lot of money out of his pocket moving forward. So how are we going to keep our friend afloat? Well, we better really hustle and make this comic book happen. So Travis and I, we shifted also, we pivoted again, and we realized, right off the bat, like this wasn't going to be something that all we cared about was make the book. We didn't care about making any monetary thing for us, for Travis or myself. It was all going to make sure that Brett got taken care of, first and foremost. So, we sat down and had a conversation about that. And we're like, okay, we can do this, this, and this to make sure the book gets done. We can make sure this, and this gets done to take care of Brett. And that's all we need to do. And then moving forward, same kind of thing. We wrote out a multi-book series. So with the intent of keeping people engaged and excited about it, and hopefully it'll keep going in that vein, but also keep Brett's pockets full and hopefully sustain some of that excitement and interest as opposed to him being out at shows and other things like that. So you can get that excitement or get people to come in and check him out on his other pages so that he can do some commissions and other things like that as well.
Right. Just, you mentioned the challenges, like the eyebrows disappearing and stuff.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get any of that for the?
Oh, yeah, dude. So like this time around, obviously, like you can't, like, I don't know if you're using video, like I know for our chat and stuff like that, but for your listeners and whatnot, My hair is growing back. My grandma's excited. For those who don't know, my grandma lives with us. She's 88, and actually, yeah, she's creeping up on years. But she was happy that my hair is growing back. She likes it a little bit longer. And with the new book coming out, well, the challenge could be thrown out that I could lose my hair again. Travis's hair is growing back out as well, and my eyebrows are back, which was nice because I looked kind of funny without them. And so it elicited a lot of stares when I went out to the market occasionally. So yeah, definitely you'll see more challenges such as that, and then other things I'm sure will happen. I might even do some food challenges. I did some food challenges in the past at conventions during panels. Last summer, I tried to eat a 2-pound summer sausage in a hour-long panel during a vegan intermission in which I did a panel with a vegan artist. I know it sounds really ridiculous, but it was a conversation that she and I had. And she would eat the same amount of vegetable matter while we were doing the panel, and talk to a bunch of people about foodstuffs and other things. And I was vegetarian for a while in my life, and I figured it would be interesting to have a conversation with people. And it happened in Wisconsin, or not Wisconsin, Omaha, Nebraska, of all places. So I figured like the amount of meat eaters and stuff like that would be like, oh, hey, no big deal. Vegans came out in storm, and I got some dirty looks.
Yeah. But the important question is, did you finish the sausage?
Oh, dude, I got 3/4 of the way done, and I mean, it was a big summer sausage. It was huge, and I mean, like I was left with a nub. But yeah, no, I got to a point where I was powering through it, and I was feeling pretty good. But in the end, man, summer sausage won. I was defeated. I got the meat sweats. I was sweating from the inside out. And at one point, I was walking through, and I had bought a bunch of Oberto meat sticks and other things like that to give away as like things. And the last thing I wanted to even see on the plane was meat products. So I was just throwing them through the convention as I was walking back to I was like, here, take it, get it, take it, have it. I don't want it. I was done. And yeah.
So is that when you went vegetarian?
No,
it's a different time.
No. That was when I was young.
You were just like, I don't ever want to eat meat again.
Oh no, I just couldn't. I couldn't eat the summer sausage for a while, but I'm thinking, I might try something. Who knows? Maybe the sauerkraut challenge. I might try to eat 2 pounds of sauerkraut. That might.
Oh, that sounds worse than the sausage.
I know, right? But I like these weird things, right? So 2 pounds of sauerkraut might be there. I might try to eat a whole cauliflower in a sitting. It's possible.
Hey,
You're looking at me. I mean, and then maybe I might try. I'll do those things, and then I might try the summer sausage again.
Just put it together and just make a smoothie. Drink the smoothie.
Well, so I'm not sure if you saw, but I've been making these monkey meat sandwiches. Oh, they're awesome. And I don't know if you know what monkey meat is, but
explain.
Monkey meat. Now, this is a childhood favorite of my wife's, and my wife's. Anne grew up eating these sandwiches, although they didn't call it monkey meat. They called it's like a bologna paste sandwich. Her grandmother would run bologna chubs through a hand grinder and just grind down these chubs of bologna and then put it into a big mixing bowl and then regrind it again. So it'd be just like smooth, just like a big old smooth bowl of bologna. Just smooth in texture. Just imagine all this bologna meat just smooth. And then throw in a couple of tablespoons of mayonnaise and relish, and then just whip that bad boy up. So imagine like an ambrosia, if you will, like an ambrosia salad or one of those like fluffy, whipped, like creamy, buttery salads that you get at one of those jello-y things, but with meat in it, and you put it on a sandwich.
So I think you've probably just turned my 4 listeners into vegetarians.
But it's honestly delicious, and it's one of those things. Like I went back to the Midwest, went back to Wisconsin with her when we first started dating, and while her grandmother was still alive, and her grandmother made this dish, and I ate it one time, and I was like, "This is actually really good." And I've been thinking about it, and I've got a lot of time on our hands right now, so I bust out the grinder. I go to the store and I buy a couple of chubs of bologna. I get the mayonnaise, I get the relish, and I whip it up. I grind it out, and I smooth grind it out, and I grind it again. Man, I 4 times grinded it. And I have a video I put on my TikTok channel of me grinding the meat. And people were like, what the, because it's just dumb looking, right? I mean, it's like, it's meat going through a grinder, but I'm just grinding it out. It's the only time I ever used a KitchenAid, I think. Like, got this thing for a wedding, and we've been married for like 12 years now.
Finally got that opportunity to use the big fancy piece of equipment.
She uses it. I'll clarify. She bakes and she uses it. I don't touch it that much because I'm afraid of it. I'm afraid it'll grab my hand. It's like shop class, right? They always tell you don't wear gloves when you're cutting wood or whatever, because it'll grab your thumb and then rip it off, and then you're like Thumbless Joe, the guy that teaches the class. You're like, oh, you think I'm joking, but our shop teacher, Thumbless Joe.
that reminds me of that South Park episode in the shop class. Remember that one? Where it's like, stop screwing around. Yeah. But let's talk about the comics some more.
Oh yeah.
That bologna stuff kind of. I'm vegetarian, so it's like it sounds terrible to me. But
are you really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
But so the comic, not everybody has had an opportunity to read it.
Okay.
Not everybody knows about it. What's it about?
So Starlight is about a brother and sister, and like most brother and sisters, they're complete opposites. They're going through life. They're teenagers. They're living here in the Pacific Northwest, and but they're dealing with some different things, right? So we meet them in book number 1, and I'm not going to give too much away, but enough. We meet them, and they basically they're going through, like I said, their brother sister stuff, but they got some stuff that's a little different about them, because along comes this guy that's knocking on their door and wants to talk to them. And why does this guy want to talk to him? Because he's a reporter, and he thinks he's got a hot story about this brother and sister that he thinks that they might be these superheroes that have been out of the light for a while. So are they the superheroes that are hiding out in the Pacific Northwest? Who knows? Who knows?
Gotta read. So can people still find issue 1?
Actually, that's the upside, is with Kickstarter with the Kickstarter for number 2, we're doing a thing where you can actually get book 1 and book 2 as a tier. So if you missed out, you can get both. So right now, currently, we did the run for the print run, and Travis has said we're out currently of books. So, which surprised me, because we fulfilled all our Kickstarters, and all of a sudden we had a couple places reach out. We had a couple comic book shops and other orders, retailers and stuff like that, want to hold the books. So it was kind of crazy.
So, how far are you guys hoping to take this book? How long is the series going to run? How?
So let's see. We have, I want to say we have about several issues already written for the book series. So a complete story arc for one complete 7-issue run.
All right.
So it's something that Travis and I have been working on for roughly about 2 years in the writing stages of it. To give your listeners a little background, Brett and Travis had gone to Burning Man a few years back, and Brett was like, "Gosh, I really want to do a book with I want to do this book idea that you had." And if you had ravers that were, that had these kind of like powers, or something like that. And that's kind of where the genesis of this is, because one of the characters is a raver and they're powered. God, I gave some stuff away.
Oh, spoiler.
Spoiler.
Now people have to buy it.
Now they have to buy it. Yeah, I mean, it's it's also like with book one, when we put it out, we had Ian K put out a track for it, so released a track along with the book, so it had a soundtrack. A couple mixes were put out to go along with the book as well from other DJs, so that was pretty cool to have the actual rave community come together to help push a book that is very much influenced, obviously. If you look at the cover, and you've seen the new cover, the two new covers for book number 2. We've got the drive-in cover where you've got the brother and sister sitting on top of a car, and then you've got the rave cover. So it's and that's by our guest artist Jen Ayub, who's come to us from Boom Studios. So if you have anybody that likes the Adventures of Gumball or Adventure Time or Steven's Universe, any of those fine products and books, or I want to say Lumberjanes and the Lumberjanes Gotham City crossover. She's worked on all those things. So
I didn't even know Lumberjanes did a crossover with. That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I read a couple issues of Lumberjanes. It's a pretty cool book.
Yeah, so she's one of their she's a line artist and cover artist and stuff like that for a few of the books that they have in their awesome catalog of young adult and teen books. But this was a cool partnering. She's a friend of mine and Travis's that has come over and said, "Hey, do this thing with you guys." And it's like, awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So that's Starlight. It's the name of the comic. And Starlight comic. And we're getting the Kickstarter for book 2 in August, hopefully.
Yes.
That's the plan.
That is the plan. You'll find out more stuff on Starlight at Starlight Comic on Twitter and Starlight Comic on Instagram. And then you can follow us on Starlight at Facebook and get all of the details.
So what about some other projects that you're known for?
Oh, hey. So thanks for asking. We got Junior Braves, the Apocalypse books. That's where most people might know me from. Classic kids fighting zombies. Mike Tanner and Zach Lehner and myself have been working on that book series for, gosh, it has actually literally been like almost a decade now. It's kind of weird. We actually just put a role-playing game out for the book series this summer. We're supposed to be at San Diego Comic-Con this week and pushing that and talking it up and showing it off between that and Gen Con. But as I said, a lot of shows have been canceled, paused, and other things like that. So we're doing it from the comfort of our own homes, and hopefully we're going to get a campaign going with Gremlin Legions, the awesome designer of the book. So he was the designer who we worked with. He took a look. He's a friend of mine. It's kind of a weird little family that we've created, Team Junior Braves. So Zach, Mike, and I created the book series and worked on that together. And then a friend of mine who I play RPGs with, I've played RPGs with for a while and hung out with down in the Portland area. He was like a fan of the Junior Braves books, but was like, dude, you need an RPG for this book. And we talked about it, and I was like, I just don't know how it'd come about. Like it's one of those things. And we kicked it around. And then all of a sudden, fast forward like 9 years or like 8 years, and he's like sitting there at his day job, and his boss comes in and is like, here's a stack of books. Take a look at them and tell me which one you want to work on. And he was like, I know this book. Yeah. What do you want to do with it? And he's like, what? Because he's like, I have a whole like list of things that we've already worked out for this. And so they kind of like worked through a bunch of stuff, and Gremlin Legions worked with his boss at Renegade Games, and they came up with a bunch of different ideas of how to go about it. And they found that reskinning the Kids on Bikes RPG, which had a great success rate because it's a very easy access, low barrier game for people who want to play tabletop RPGs but haven't before. They can jump into it, play a scenario, and roll out a character with a lot of ease. And it's just a super fun way to get people into something and play like a game that's kind of like playing an episode of Stranger Things, if you will. That's kind of what Kids on Bikes is like. And they were like, well, this kind of format would be great if you took that format and put it under this book and, and put it in a zombie apocalypse. So they took our characters or character models and our situation and put it on top of this gameplay. And lo and behold, we've become part of the Kids on Bikes franchise. So Junior Braves the Apocalypse, Kids on Bikes teamed up essentially with Gremlin Legions Renegade Games and put out this awesome game, which it looks so pretty.
I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, but without the conventions and stuff to get out there and show it off and talk about it, are you guys still getting pretty good feedback, or is it getting out there? Are people buying it?
Yeah, it's so last week was Free RPG Day, which for folks that don't know, it's kind of like Free Comic Book Day, but for role-playing games. So role-playing game stores will give away RPGs, a sample booklet or whatnot, or a sample game, and Junior Braves of the Apocalypse role-playing game was chosen as one of those games that they would make a game for and give away as an RPG for a Free RPG Day. So it's kind of cool because 5 years ago we were on Free Comic Book Day. We were a comic book that was given away, and now we're a Free RPG Day book. So it's kind of cool. But they're giving that away, and now people are wanting to go out and buy the actual book to play because they're like, oh, this is a really cool quick start guide. I really like playing a little bit of this and playing it. How do I play more of it? How do I get more of it? So I think that the game will actually help with pushing the sales of the book series as well, and get people interested in books 1 and 2. And then during that time frame, give Zach some time to be able to finish up book 3 that he's working on right now. And
so there is a book 3 coming.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Book 3 is coming out. I know you're waiting with bated breath. Where's book 3? You've got all these questions.
Yep.
What's going on? The city of Kent throws out a meme last night where it's like a picture of Mount Rainier, and it says the season finale of 2020. And I respond back from the Junior Braves Twitter account, stop giving away spoilers for our book series. Not that that's going to happen, people. Not that that's going to happen. But it is funny and ironic that Mike and I are like kind of comics or Nostradamus, if you will. We've kind of, if you take a look at some of everything that we've talked about in books 1 and 2, and as we're moving into book 3, unreleased, but what Zach is drawing out right now, a lot of things really fit everything that's going down in 2020. And it's so weird to have people pull panels, take pictures of it, and then put it up against actual news images or stories and shoot it over to me in a DM or something. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many things. Like Mike and I are thinking we might need to do like a breakfast or something like that and talk to people and have people ask us questions like, how did you guys know? We didn't know, man. We just, just nerdy dudes that like apocalypse stuff, but also, we're hip to reality. And well, this is